Now it's time to look at the four fours. We have the four of wands virtue, which is Venus ruling the third decanus of Aries. We have luxury, which is the moon ruling its own sign of Cancer. We have the four of swords, which is Jupiter ruling Aquarius. And we have the four of discs, power, which is the sun ruling Capricorn. So in astrological terms, we've moved from the 2s, the 3s and the 4s, so we're on the final 10 degrees of the cardinal signs of the zodiac. The cardinal signs are the signs that start the equinox and the solstices. Okay, so now we've done the 2s and the 3s. The aces were spirit. There's no element in them, even though they have the symbols of the elements on them. We did the 2s, which is the first manifestation of the real purity of the elements, and they're the cardinal elements of Aries, Cancer, Gemini, not Gemini, Libra, and Capricorn. And this is the 2s are also to do with the knights or the father. And then we go on to 3s, and the 3s is Bina, which is ruled by Saturn, and it's to do with the mother. So then you have the father, the 2s, the mother, the 3s. Mummy and Daddy get together and create something. So now we're going on to the level of the 4s, which is a manifestation. We've gone, the two, Hukma and Bina are at the level of the supernals. They're beyond the abyss. Okay. Now we're going below the abyss. It's a position of 4. Saturn is 3. Hukma is actually the zodiac, the whirlings, the spinning around. So the 4 elements are actually spinning around, which is what we have seen. Okay. 3s is the mother and Saturn. The 4s about manifestation and solidity. 4 square meals. It's solid. You're not going to move it. So let's see what Crowley says about these cards. So the 4 cards are attributed to Chesed, which is related to Jupiter. The connection between the number 4 and the number 3 is extremely complex. The important characteristic is that 4 is, in quotes, below the abyss, unquote. Therefore, in practice, it means solidification, materialization. So with the 3s, we had the creation, the coming together of male and female to create the child. Now is the manifestation of it. Things have become manifest. The essential point is that it expresses the rule of law. We're coming, Jupiter is very much about, because the aces, the 2s, the ace, the knight of wands, he just goes and they bang and everything else, and things happen really quick. The 3 of wands is virtue, where he's got a baby, he's got to, knuckle down, all the rest of it. And the 4s, you need that stability in life in order to maintain things. You need a kind of order, breakfast in the morning, lunch in the evening, supper in the evening, lunch at dinner time, supper in the evening. So let's see how he takes these kind of ideas a little bit further. So in the wand suit, the 4 of wands, now you saw this circle in the 3 of discs. Okay, now it's become this circle here. In the wand suit, the card is called completion. That's what it says. The manifestation promised by Bina has now taken place, because you're going from the supernal thing into the next level. This number must be very solid because it's the actual dominating influence on all the following cards. See, Aries is a card of starting stuff. It doesn't maintain things very well. Okay, it gets things going and then it goes off and does something else. So this is the reining in, if you like, of the energies. Chesed, Jupiter among the Father, the first below the abyss, is the highest idea which can be understood in an intellectual way. And that is why the sephirah is attributed to Jupiter, who's a demiurge. So there's all these paternal kind of things. They're kind of there with Hukmah, but now they're definitely here with, so their manifestation, that swirling around of Hukmah, has become the Four of Discs. Four of Wands, rather. I get confused. There's this whole thing of the father that's going on here, the paternal kind of thing that's happening, even though really in the twos that was what is going on, but now we can actually see it happening. Okay, the twos we couldn't see it because it is a purity. Now we have that thing that's going on. The Four of Cups, it's called luxury. Luxury is the extras you can have in life when things are established. You got your home, you're paying the mortgage and all the rest of it. Now you want some luxuries in life. You want some more expensive sofa or curtains or a bigger TV, all these kind of things. In themselves, ultimately, they're not completely satisfying, but at least you have that kind of feeling of more going on in your life. And it's the water as well. Water is fluid. But we're talking about full solidity. Water's supposed to flow. So the masculine nature of fire permits the Four of Wands to appear as very positive in a clear-cut conception. You know, the Four of Wands is very much completed. You can see what it is. It's there to see. The weakness in the elements of water threatens its purity. It is not quite strong enough to control itself properly. So the Lord of Pleasure is a little unstable. Lord of Pleasure? It's the Lord of Luxury, shouldn't it? So purity has somehow been lost in the process of satisfaction. It's the indulgence. You know, it's the bourgeois getting beyond their kind of level. You know, it's pretending to be something that you're not, but also realizing that you're not those things either. Then we come to the Four of Swords, Truce. 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 This seems, according to Crowley, this seems rather on the lines of the strong man armed, keeping his house in peace. Four of Cups, luxury, having nice things, and you don't want people coming in, so you need burglar alarms, you need to keep things, you need to have this aura of everything's calm, don't upset the apple cart, basically. Okay. The masculine nature of air makes it dominant. You know, you have guards and things like that. The card is also a picture of the formation of the military clan system of society. So, if you took it in the level of government, you know, are you kind of getting into the repressive regime kind of thing where you're not allowed to say certain things? Propaganda, the idea that you have to sort of conform within the whole sort of system is going on here. So you see this most of all in the Four of Discs, power, because in that one you see the four watchtowers, which are actually the Enochian watchtowers. So you started things off. You've got society, you've made your home and all these things. You've got your actual doodahs and all the other kind of things to make life comfortable and everything else. You want to keep those things, so you have truce. So you kind of say, well, you know, there might be burglars out there, but they can't come in because we've got all the security and stuff. We have the armed guards and everything else, and we have power. Okay. So Crowley says, as to the disc, the heaviness of the symbol rather outweighs any considerations of its weakness. The card is called power. It is the power which dominates and stabilizes everything. Now we had dominion in the Two of Wands, but that's kind of like bang, let's go. Now you want to hold on to it, you want to keep it there. You don't want to let it go. It is the power which dominates and stabilizes everything. The element Earth is supposed to stabilize and create order and keep things on the level, but manages its affairs more by negotiation, by pacific methods, than by any assertion of itself. It's kind of there. You know, possession's 9/10 of the law. You're not going to move me. It is law, the constitution, with no aggressive element. It's like a castle, it just sits there on the top of the hill. You can't miss it, you know? It's it's going to stay there. So this whole thing about Jupiter is an interesting one, because Jupiter is very much the card of expansion. You're kind of taking things further. It's the biggest planet and it's expanding, going further. But actually with the fours, it's about this tension between expansion and compression that keeps the thing stable and solid. It's kind of locked in there.